Hello, I'm back. Look what I've got today. The new Santa Fe Hybrid XRT Peak. It's an off-road kit for the Santa Fe. Beefs it up a bit, makes it more capable to go off-road. So let's give it a test. In today's video, I'm looking at the new Santa Fe Hybrid, complete with XRT Peak Pack, which is an option pack that Hyundai has developed to help the car's off-road capabilities. What's the engine performance like? What's it like to drive? 7-seater, how comfortable is it in the car itself? Plus, what's it like to actually take an all-wheel drive off-road? All that and more today, looking at the Santa Fe Hybrid. And remember, if you like these videos, don't forget to hit that like button down there, as well as the subscribe button and the notification bell. That way you can be kept up to date with everything we're doing here at the Fleet News Group. Go on, smash away at that like button. You know you want to. Well, let's have a look at the styling here of the new Santa Fe Hybrid XRT. It's in the nice terracotta orange colour here. That's actually no additional cost, but this has the XRT Peak Off-Road Pack fitted to it. It's a $10,000 option. Oh, sorry, $9,990, including GST and fitting, but it's got some things going on here. It's got a whole new suspension underneath it. It's been lifted by 30mm up to 210mm ground clearance. We've got some side steps going on down here, as well as some XRT mud flaps. We've gone from 20-inch wheels down to 17-inch with all-terrain tyres, some 245/70/17s. And up on top here, we've got a platform rack as well, complete with XRT badging. Certainly it's looking the goods. It's pretty nice. I think it'll go well in most off-road situations. I don't think it's a hardcore off-roader, but it's certainly got the look of it there. The styling overall of the Santa Fe Hybrid I quite like. Looking at the styling at the back, I don't know I'm as much of a fan of what I am of the front. It's got the nice big Santa Fe badge on the back there, but the low set tail lights, I don't know, it just kind of looks a bit out of kilter to me there. I'm not too sure if I like the big heavy metal look of the tailgate, but here's what it is. It's quite an edgy design, this one. Certainly achieving an out there type look, which I'm sure they were looking for, but with the XRT pack on it, and just showing you again on the back mud flaps, we've got that XRT logo as well. But the big platform rack on top to help you with your off-road adventures. It's all looking pretty good. Well, what's under the bonnet? Let's have a look. Gas struts. Yes, love gas struts. 1.6 litre 4-cylinder turbo motor. Forgive me notes, but there's a few numbers to go through on this one. As I said, 1.6 litre 4-cylinder turbo. The petrol motor itself is rated at 132 kilowatts and 265 newton meters torque. But it's a hybrid. The electric motor is rated at 44.2 kilowatts power, 264 newton meters of torque, and that's run off a 1.49 kilowatt battery. Combined, The two motors provide 172 kilowatts of power and 367 newton meters of torque. And that's what you feel when you're out in the open road and put the foot down to pass that caravan or truck. Those 367 newtons hauling the mail for you. Fuel economy. Fuel economy is listed by Hyundai on the combined cycle on this car at 5.6 litres per 100 k's. It takes E10 unleaded fuel and it has a 67 litre tank. I'll put down below the best combined average I've seen whilst driving it. And that number's right down there right now. CO2 emissions. Hyundai lists this car emits 128 grams of CO2 per kilometre. Not too bad, especially for a 2-tonne SUV. But how does that look in the real world over say 20,000 k's or 12 months? Well, in that time frame, on those calculations, you could expect the car to emit around 2.56 tonnes of CO2 over a year. Pretty good. It's a nice motor to drive, does the business for you, it's comfortable, obviously it's quiet, but I like it, does well. Well, here I am in the driver's seat of the Santa Fe Hybrid. This is the top of the line model, leather everything inside, and this has the pecan brown leather fitted as a $295 option. Got to say, the brown, it's not my colour, but some people might like it. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Kind of feels like an 80s hotel room brown to me, but that's what it is. If you like it, go for it. Got heated steering wheel, heated and cooled front seats. It's got the twin charging pads here for your phone, wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, wireless charging, that's all going on. Haptic touchscreen here for the climate controls there. Front cameras, parking sensors, the terrain mode selector for eco and sport when driving, and also the terrain for doing off-road type stuff. Very large touchscreen here with Apple CarPlay running through it and full digital instrumentation as well. It's very clear and crisp, and where the steering wheel cuts through on my line of sight, it actually makes it look like it's two screens, not just one big one, which it is. So it's all very nice and comfortable here in the Santa Fe Hybrid. Well, here I am now in the second row seat of the Santa Fe. Very, very nice in here. Good headroom. Got lots of space up there. Look at the knee room I've got. The driver's seat is in my standard driving position. There's heaps of space here. Heaps of room for my feet, toes, nice and comfortable. Of course, it's leather all throughout because it's the top of the line model. Still got the nice brown colour going. 80s hotel room there. Again, tell us what you think in the comments. Do you like the colour, or would you prefer a different colour seat? The armrest folds up out of the way if you don't want it. There's two cup holders in there, there's two bottle holders in the door handle here, and a switch here for the seat heating because both outboard seats are heated. It is a very nice place here inside the rear in the second row seat of the Santa Fe Hybrid. And one other thing I forgot to tell you, it's got the really cool shades here, which if you've got the littlies in the back needing to sleep, bit of shade, fantastic, but if you don't need them, whooshka, you got the view back again. How good's that? Well, here I am sitting in the third row seat, 7-seater of the Santa Fe. 3 rows, 7 seats. Comfortable here, not overly. Knees are right up against the seat in front, which is in the same position it was when I filmed the rear seat section there I showed you earlier. But the headroom is actually very, very good. Not too bad for a short trip, but a long trip, I don't think I'd be comfortable at all. Good for the kiddies, or an adult if you don't really like them that much. Let us know what you think about that in the comments below. Leather seats, all very good. It's got a fan control in the back here as well to have it blow on cold air onto you, plus a couple of USB-C ports and some bottle holders either side here as well. So for short trips I'll be fine, kiddies will be fine. That's the third row seat in the Hyundai Santa Fe. Well, what's in the back? Let's have a look. Powered tailgate, of course. And here you can see it's set up for 7 seats. To change it over, don't have the extra passenger in the back. Need a bit more luggage space. Just pull the strap and down she goes. Same on the other side. And now about 628 litres of space. If you need a bit more space though, you've been to Bunnings, IKEA, you know where you go. There's 2 buttons in here. Let's push them both. Down they go. 1,949 litres of space. Plenty of room for all those special purchases at the shops. Nice little protector mat they've put in here as part of the XRT pack. It's a rubbery type mat. Goes over the carpeted interior floor. Under there is this wheelbase and the rest of it. But it does have a full size spare tyre under there, and it's an all-terrain like the same on the rest of the car. Other things in the back, there's a nice little 12-volt outlet, plug in a portable fridge, something like that, picture of that up there. But it is quite a versatile space here in the rear of the Santa Fe. Well, alright then, what's it like driving the Santa Fe Hybrid? This is the calligraphy model, the top of the line, with the XRT Peak option pack fitted to enhance its off-road abilities. Let me just say at the start, it is very comfortable to drive this car. I've got 14-way power adjustment going on this seat. It's heated and cooled, 10-way adjustable on the passenger, heated and cooled again, and the outboard seats in the second row are also heated. Leather everywhere going here. It does have the pecan brown leather option in this car, which I can take it or leave it. It's not my particular cup of tea, but it certainly doesn't detract from how the vehicle feels to drive. Lots of safety features in this car. It has a 5-star ANCAP safety rating. It's got blind spot monitoring, lane keep assist, lane departure warning, adaptive cruise control, radar cruise control. Not a fan of it because you always find yourself slowing down behind a car and not realising it. I prefer the other systems where I can see I'm catching it. It's got speed alert warnings. I'm doing 71 as I go into the 80 zone. It has driver attention alert warnings. It has tyre pressure monitoring system, traffic sign recognition, reverse cameras, front cameras, parking sensors, all of that's going for it. It is a very well equipped vehicle when it comes to driver aids and safety features. And one of the new ones that's got going for it is the Blue Link connectivity system, where you can get an app on your phone and control some of the functions, find out where the car is, and a whole host of things for the safety of the car come with the connected services, including the SOS button up here. I'll put another picture of it up here for you, just so you can see. It's just up on the roof here, just in front of the sunroof controls. Speaking of which, let's let some of the light in. It's a manual screen on there, but it's actually powered at the back. How cool is that? So it opens up in the back, so I don't know if you can see it in the camera from this angle, but that's very good as well. I'd open the roof, but it is quite noisy with the wind, and I find you can probably see through the roof there the platform rack up on top. And I think when you're driving at speed and you've actually got like speeds of about freeway speeds, 100, 110, things like that, you can actually hear a bit of wind noise through the rack. Happy to be proven wrong, that's not the case, but I've sort of nutted out all other windows being closed and that there, and that's very nice to know. But I think it's actually the platform rack might be getting a bit of wind noise going through it there. But hey, if you don't like it, you can always take it off and only put it on as required. The motor is very quiet, being a hybrid. It is not like the motorbike in front of me is pretty loud. Again, most Harleys are. But that being the case, it is a very quiet motor car. You can hear things. It runs in battery mode, turns it on and off as it needs to, but if you put your foot down, the petrol motor kicks in to give you the power that you need, and away you go. The seating position's very good. As I mentioned, 14-way power adjustable seating here, rate adjustment on the steering wheel, it's just got everything in easy reach for you to be able to comfortably drive the vehicle every day. Big digital instrument cluster, absolutely perfect. I've got my Waze set up through Apple CarPlay on the screen here, and everything's as clear as crystal. It's very, very nice. But that's on road. Whether I'm driving on freeways, suburbia, as I'm coming back into now, it's doing everything well. But it's got the XRT Peak Off-Road Pack fitted to this vehicle. So how's it going to go off-road? Let's find out. Well, what better way to test the Santa Fe Calligraphy XRT Peak if it's any good off-road? Can it actually go off-road properly? Well, what's more off-road than the beach? So we brung it here to Stockton, just about to let the tyres down, got my deflator here, and we'll give it a go out on the beach and see how she goes. Alright, so what I'm doing here, I've got my little device deflator here cooked up to the two rear tyres, all going through. At the moment it's showing about 23 pounds on the gauge, so just undo the valve and away she goes, letting air out of the back two tyres. Much easier than just leaning down with a little stick pushing into the valve, that's for sure. So when I want to check it, I just stop the valve and it's equalising out. It's just saying about 19.5 at the moment. I'm actually heading for 17 pounds, but I will verify it on the TPMS system as well. It's pretty warm out here, about 30 degrees, so the sand's going to be hot, especially the soft stuff getting onto the beach, and that'll be the biggest challenge for this car, because once you get on the hard compacted stuff on the beach itself, it's pretty easy. But just getting there, and with the car only having 210mm ground clearance, that could be an issue as well. But we'll give it a go, we'll see what happens. Well, we're here on the beach. The XRT Peak Pack on the Santa Fe Hybrid did it easily. No dramas at all. The first thing with sand driving, as always, tyre pressure. Tyre pressure, that's the key. Got the tyres down to 15 psi or thereabouts. The system didn't actually read it, just said low tyre pressure, low tyre pressure. Yeah, I know, the lower let them down. But that allows the tread to lengthen. Doesn't pillow out sideways, it actually lengthens, spreads the load of the vehicle over a greater area and allows it to drive on a softer surface. And some of the sand came in the beach. It's a pretty warm day today, about 30 degrees. Pretty hot in the afternoon, so it did well. But now we're on the beach proper, it's going to be easy cruising. I'll tell you a few things about it, because like all vehicles that come on the beach, there are limits to what it can and can't do. Big limit number one, never drive in the seawater. That's not going to end well. But how much ground clearance it has will affect, especially in the softer stuff. This particular vehicle with the upgrades it's got has now got a 210mm ground clearance, up from 177mm on the standard Santa Fe. But it did it quite well. The traction system it has, I put it in sand mode, combined with the lower tyre pressures, it just cruised on in. And that's what it's built to do. But as I said, there's limits. There's load limits, there's terrain limits, there's roof load limits, there's towing limits, and we're going to talk about all those now. Forgive my notes, but there's a fair bit to go through. First up, this has the XRT Peak Pack option fitted to it. Cost of $9,990. Fitted and includes a GST. But what do you get for that? Well, first up, it's got a 30mm lift, new suspension, front and rear springs, shocks and hub carriers. It's changed from 20-inch wheels down to 17-inch wheels with 245/70/17 all-terrain tyres on them, and even the spare underneath is the all-terrain as well. It's got a platform rack on the roof. Studying all the notes on this vehicle and the specs, worked out the standard Hyundai says the roof rails, which the platform rack's mounted to, can take 100 kilo load on the roof. That's right, the minimum number is always the one you have to go with, but when I checked about the XRT pack, it said the road load roof rate for the roof rack is 80 kilos. Why the difference? And it occurred to me, double check with this with Hyundai to make sure, but what I believe is the case, with the platform rack on the top, it must weigh about 20 kilos. And that's still got to be taken into account the weight of that actual rack for the total load on the roof. So if it's weighing about 20 kilos and the roof rails can take 100, that's why it's down at 80. Always have to double check that, because you go over it, bad things can happen, and insurance companies mightn't be prepared to help you out. It's also got some other nice stylish things happening, where it's got side steps on the side of the vehicle. It's also got nice little mud flaps with the XRT logo, picture of that up there. It's got a bash plate at the front in case it's bitty rocky, going through a creek crossing, something like that, and it bottoms out and hits the ground, so there's front underbody protection there as well. And it's changed with the different suspension. Oh, it's got the weather shields here too, I forgot to mention them. With the suspension changing, it's also changed the approach angles, departure angles and the ramp over angles because of the higher ground clearance. So just to run through those for you. Down the front here, the standard Hyundai Santa Fe has a 17-degree approach angle. In other words, how far will the angle have to be before the front tyres hit before the bumper bar does. On the XRT, that's increased to 19 degrees. The ramp over angle, in other words, where the middle of the car when you're going over the top of the hump or whatever, will bottom out. On a standard Santa Fe, 15 degrees. On this one, 19 degrees. And at back, the departure angle, where you drop down off the hazard to drive away before the back of the car hits the ground, it's 20 degrees on a standard Santa Fe and 22 degrees on this particular vehicle. So there's a bit of improvement going on there. We then look at some of the weight and things there it's got going for this particular vehicle. And paying attention to that and the payload is quite important, especially if you introduce towing to the equation. Number one, the curb weight for a standard Hyundai Santa Fe hybrid calligraphy 7-seater is 2,105 kilos. They haven't published the exact curb weight for this particular vehicle, so double check that out. The gross vehicle mass that's listed is 2,680 kilos, which leaves a payload of 575. That means everything you put in the car, the fuel, the passengers, the luggage, a box of tissues, a bottle of drink, all of that cannot weigh more than 575 because the car has to stay under 2,680. When you bring towing back into the equation here, things get a little bit more interesting. The brake towing capacity for the Hyundai Santa Fe is listed as 1,650 kilos. Of that, about 10% can be counted as ball weight to go onto the tow bar, providing there's one fitted. Hyundai can look after that for you. So that's 165 kilos. I said earlier, the payload of the vehicle, as they advertise the Santa Fe here, is 575 kilos. If you put 1,650 kilo trailer behind it, 165 of that is going to be counted as ball weight, which means your payload actually reduces to 410 kilos. 2 adults, 3 kids, maybe grandma and grandpa. That's a lot of weight. You wouldn't be having much luggage in here because even the fuels and all those people have got to be under 410. Of course, if you're towing a lighter trailer, a 1-ton trailer, it's only 100 kilos. 900 kilo trailer, 90 kilos. 750, don't need braking then, but 750 kilo trailer, 75 kilo ball weight. It's all relative depending to how you're using it. So please pay attention to those numbers. You do need to know them to be safe out there. in an all-wheel drive, driving on the beach. How cool is that? The drive traction systems in these cars are very intelligent, and they can work out which wheel to put the traction to all the time. The calibration I've got at the moment is obviously set for sand, but there's also mud and snow traction conditions as well. And it's going off at me because I'm looking at you and the camera and not out there at the beach. Go figure. But it means this vehicle can take its owner more places than what its siblings without the option pack could do. The higher clearance will help on the sand. It's not going to be perfect, it's not going to be doing real extreme stuff, but then it's not meant to. Now I'll just turn him around here. Let me go there, Doug. How could you not enjoy being out here? Driving around on the beach, beautiful views of the sand, just very, very nice. And isn't that what this car's all about? Just enjoying yourself on the weekends with the family, out in the great outdoors. Fantastic. Well, what's the ownership experience like with the Santa Fe Hybrid? Like all Hyundai vehicles, it's covered by a 5-year unlimited kilometre warranty. Service intervals are set at every 12 months or 15,000 Ks, whichever occurs first, and there is the option of buying prepaid service packages so you know the costs up front when you buy the car as well. Additionally, roadside assistance, premium roadside assistance, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week is complimentary for the first 12 months of ownership, and then for a further 12 months from every time you get the car serviced at your Hyundai dealer. So you could go virtually for the life of the car, completely covered with roadside assistance. How good is that? Well, as they say, tell them the price, son. Hang on to your hats. It's going to cost this one. It's a Santa Fe, but you might be surprised what she costs. Got my pricing here to run through with you, so just bear with me while I use the notes. This is the 7-seat Santa Fe Hybrid Calligraphy, top of the line model. All leather, everything inside, all very good. The starting price for this car, $75,000. Manufacturer's list price. That comes with 20-inch wheels. Oh wait, this one's only got 17s. That's because this has got the XRT Peak option pack fitted, which enhances its off-road capabilities. Looking at it, as I said, $75,000 manufacturer list price. To that, for the nice brown leather inside, instead of the black leather, it's a $295 option. The XRT Peak Pack, $9,990. Takes the total manufacturer list price, as you see it right here now, to $85,285. We add the on-road costs, which Hyundai lists at $6,641.60, so take it to $91,926.60 drive away in New South Wales, as you see it right here, right now. So, what's a few bucks between friends? 92 grand for this particular vehicle. So what's the fleet manager going to say about that? How's that conversation going to go? Sir, ma'am, can I please have one of these? It only costs 92 grand. Put it on the fleet? Yes, happy days. Let's get a dozen. No, that's not going to happen. But the good news is, if your salary package has a novated leasing option and you want one of these vehicles, you'll be able to negotiate this with your employer, and probably it is the cheapest way to get you into one of these vehicles here on a novated lease package. But to learn more about that, you and your fleet manager should go to our website, fleetnewsgroup.com.au, and download your free copy of our car leasing guide. www.fleetnewsgroup.com.au, complete car leasing guide. Novated leases, operating leases, the whole lot's in there for you to have a look at. Go there right now and download your copy. Well, I think Hyundai's done a magnificent job with the Santa Fe hybrid here. They've developed an option pack. How much it costs is a bit debatable, but that's what it costs. And it's taken the Santa Fe hybrid into a much more capable off-road vehicle. One of the big things with it is it's changed the height of the clearance underneath. Raising it up to 210 mil gives you more options on what you can do. The all-wheel drive system with the traction mode, it works quite well and can take you places like this. And who's going to not enjoy that? Certainly not me. Is it going to do something like crossing the Simpson Desert? Going to Cape York? Probably not. No, I don't think that might be a bit too far for this type of vehicle, mainly because I don't distrust the wheels and tyres or the suspension they put in there, but the ground clearance and by very nature the need to be driving all four wheels fully hard and not having the computer muck about back and forth which one's going to have the traction going to what and when in such extreme conditions as that would probably be to the car's detriment. But for an SUV to take the family out, go to the beach, maybe do a bit of a rougher track out in the bush, all of that's going to work well for you. I think this vehicle will do nicely for you. Is the fleet manager going to put it on feet for you? No, that's not going to happen, not at $92,000. But as I've said, if you have options of a novated lease in your salary package, that may well be the best way forward for you and the cheapest way to get into one of these vehicles. I think it's a good car, it's a good step forward, and I have enjoyed driving it. If this is the type of vehicle you're looking for, this vehicle, the Santa Fe hybrid with the option packs, does deserve your consideration when you're looking for your next novated lease. I'm Rod from the Fleet News Group. Thank you very much for watching, it is appreciated. And don't remember to hit that like button down there, as well as the subscribe button and the notification bell. That way you can be kept up to date with everything we're doing here at the Fleet News Group. Again, thank you for watching and you enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.